Hello, welcome to Phuket News TV. Today we're in the Live 89.5 studio and we're trying to find out a little bit more about the numbers that are Phuket. The best man to talk to this about is Mr. Blill Barnett from C9 Hotel Works. Bill, thank you very much for coming in.
All right, good afternoon, Tim. How are you?
Bill, tell us, there's been a bit of a change in the way that the hotels are being marketed. The independent hotels are sort of on the way out and we're seeing more branded hotels. Is that right?
I think certainly we've seen a lot of branding and also conversions recently. We did some research looking forward at the hotels in the pipeline right now, and about 90% of the incoming supply are attracted to brands. I think it's, realistic in anything. It's a consumer age, and when people go to the mall, they want to see the big brands. So it's very similar with hotels as well.
Yeah. So what are the key brands, the brands that are sort of on their way and the brands that we're going to see more of?
I think this year, of course, we're looking at the ultra-luxury resort with Rosewood, which is an iconic luxury brand coming up in Patong. We have Intercon in the pipeline, a number of Accor properties as well.
Who's Rosewood? Where are they from?
Rosewood's it was born out of the U.S., but it's controlled by a Hong Kong group, so it's an ultra-luxury hotel brand. So this is big news. This is one of the biggest hotel projects in Phuket ever. So a lot of excitement over that project. So
why are we seeing this change from sort of independently owned hotels to the big chains coming in? Is this a consolidation?
I think it's a consolidation, but it's also more of an institutional approach to hotels. We're seeing bigger groups develop bigger assets as well. And again, they want a safe set of hands.
Okay. And we're talking about management of existing properties, or are we talking about new properties?
We're talking about both. We see a number of conversions recently, certainly with Accor coming in and signing some pre-existing properties in Panwa, in Karan and Patong as well. So we're seeing owners who want an edge. Certainly, in a volume market, there's a lot of owners out there who are saying, maybe we could get better room rates with a brand.
Now, with hotels, we've had, let's face it, a bit of an oversupply the last 2 or 3 years. We had that massive growth in condos, which a lot of them have been used for taking up some of the accommodation slack. What's going to happen to those independently owned places if the hotels are going to bring their branding and their strong marketing here?
Well, it's going to be, again, with tourism to a point where, with the rise of the OTAs and the wholesalers, we're looking at mass markets, and mass markets are attracting a much broader competitive landscape. So I think for owners, for independent challenges, they're being pushed towards the OTAs, and OTAs, again, consumers will decide which ones, and really the common thinking is that when people see a brand, they'll pick that.
Let's talk numbers. We love talking numbers with C9 Hotel Works. Bill, it's still Chinese. Are we still talking Chinese?
Sure. Last year, for 2015, there was 35% rise of Chinese. At the same time, we saw over a 30% decrease in the Russian market as well. So certainly that is decreasing year on year over the same time period. But yeah, we are seeing this. But this is not a normal phenomenon only for Phuket. We're seeing the Chinese rise across Asia. And Thailand almost eclipsed the 30 million marker last year. And this year, for sure, it's going over 30 million. That's going to be driven by the China market.
All right, so the Chinese are still coming here. They're a strong market. People are slowly adapting to working better with the Chinese marketers, with the people who are doing the bookings. Is the actual demographic of the Chinese traveller changing as well? Are we seeing more of the independent travellers?
That will happen over time, and people's viewpoint of the China as one market. Years ago in the 1970s, we saw the Japanese following the flag and everything else. Today, the Japanese are not atypical of that at all. Again, they grow and they learn different destinations.
How long are we talking about, though? Are we talking about another decade, or is it going to happen in the next few years?
We're already seeing, it's interesting. I was in Boracay a few weeks ago in the Philippines, so you're seeing Chinese find things in the guidebooks. You're seeing more independent travel. So again, with technology and with the internet as well, even though you're not having Facebook and other things like that in China, social media is very active and they find out great new locations. So they are more adventurous.
Let's have a talk about the Russians. The last couple of years there was a drop, but is there a resurgence in the Russians, or are the numbers plateauing at all?
Again, last year was the first full year without the Russians. We are seeing some pickup in that market. Thailand's ideally placed with visa-free travel. We're also seeing Vietnam with the Russians coming back. It's only during the Russian New Year and this time of period, we're seeing more and more flights coming in. Especially this was spurred after what happened in the Middle East. Certainly the crisis there as well.
I mean, there's still Russians travelling, and they're sort of been partially locked out of the Middle East to a degree. So I thought they'd come back to Southeast Asia?
Well, part of the natural phenomenon of Russians is a snowbird effect. So, in the winters when you have sub-degrees temperatures there, they are coming to warm locations. So Thailand continues to have great airlift, and it's cost-effective.
What about the legacy markets, the Australians, the Europeans? How are they going?
We're still seeing, again, we go back to seasonal markets, and the Europeans make up a lot of the snowbird market. So during the winter months, we still do see the Europeans, but we're also seeing the influx of new volume, which is coming in really is the Asian-based travelers. So the average length of stay is changing. This creating more pressure to create more and more business for Phuket, because again, the Europeans traditionally had longer average stays, but Asians have a shorter stay.
All right, let's look to this time next year. Let's get out the C9hotelworks.com crystal ball. Who are the changing markets? Where are the trends? What's changing in Phuket? Everybody wants to know.
We've got to go back to disruptors. Again, I think it's going to be good having the airport open by the middle of this year. That's going to drive a lot more business in. But we are going to see more business from regional markets. This is just reality.
The airport allegedly had a soft opening on Valentine's Day, February the 14th. I was there last night. They've got a lot of work to do.
I think one thing about that is once they do have an opening date or they are working towards it, they'll work through it. I was there during the opening of Suvarnabhumi as well, and Suvarnabhumi, eventually they get the kinks out. So once there is a date set, they will open it. It will take time to get open.
Why are tourists coming to Phuket now? Because it's not the idyllic tropical island it used to be. I mean, these days it's very much an urban island, and just driving around for 5 minutes, you'll see a lot of construction going on, a lot of roadworks going on. I mean, people's perception of the island must be changing.
I think to a point, but I've come from Bali as well recently, and Bali has the same issue, the urbanization. We've seen locations such as Waikiki, we see other locations, South Beach, Rio de Janeiro. Of course, these are urbanized resort destinations, and they're still worldwide successes as brands. So nothing is the same as it used to be.
Yeah. As far as the Chinese market's concerned, do they come for the beaches? I only seem to see them at the rubber stores, and I don't know what they buy in there, and the duty-free stores.
Tourism behavior for Chinese is entirely different. They come, they want to stay in multiple hotels during their stay. They want to go and overnight in Koh Phi Phi. They want to go see the Big Buddha. They want to be kept busy during a vacation. It's about all these new experiences taking it. It's like a dog sniffing in the air and having all those flavors and sounds of the destination. So no, Phuket's not only about the beach anymore.
All right, Bill, always great to catch up with you, find out all the latest results. We can get people to go to C9hotelworks.com. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Tim.
Bill Barnett on top of all the numbers, and it's always a great pleasure to have a talk to him here on Phuket News TV.
Phuket's authentic Indian cuisine has arrived to Bollywood Phuket Restaurant and Bar. Open 11 to 11 and closed Tuesdays. Go to BollywoodPhuket.com.